Well, thanks to you both. Good evening and welcome to the final program for the week. First tonight to the question of mobile phones and whether they really are a health risk. A celebrated American health expert and a Nobel Prize winner has investigated scientific testing of mobile phones over the past 20 years. And as Laura Sparks reports, she claims to have uncovered a web of intrigue and corporate manipulation designed to hide the truth from all of us.
I do believe that this is a global public health threat.
They continue to sell these phones without making sure that they are safe.
It is possible that mobile phone technology is the 21st century's tobacco.
And you see here they're absorbed much more deeply into the head of a 5-year-old than they are into the head of an adult.
It's a chilling image.
We know that children's brains are developing and exquisitely sensitive.
What's more horrifying is that this model was made by scientists working for the mobile phone industry 10 years ago. But it's only now, when it's a $3 trillion global business with 4.6 billion customers, that we're hearing about it.
When you look at animal studies and cell culture studies and combine that with human studies, you see a very compelling case that heavy use of cell phones increases the risk of brain cancer.
American scientist Deborah Davis is on a worldwide tour to promote her new book, Disconnect. In it, she lifts the lid on mounting research and an industry intent on burying it.
If we wait, as we did for tobacco and asbestos, 20 or 30 years for proof of human harm, we'll have that proof long after I'm dead, and we will then be apologizing to our grandchildren for having failed to protect them.
Deborah is one of the world's leading epidemiologists and public health experts. She even shares a Nobel Peace Prize with Al Gore. In Australia, there's more mobile phones than people.
We never had 100% of people smoking cigarettes, and we do have 100% of people using cell phones now in many nations around the world.
Deborah believes the mobile phone industry has tried to control research by holding the purse strings.
All they do is control the money, control who gets appointed to the committees, and then it's really not that difficult.
A good example, the Australian Centre for Radio Frequency Bioeffects Research. It's received major funding from industry. One of its directors, John Stocker, is a Telstra director, and another Telstra scientist works there. Here's Vitas Anderson from the centre.
If you were asking me to bet my house, on one way or the other, I would certainly come down on the side saying that there probably isn't any real significant risk.
Back in the mid-90s, Henry Lai found cell damage in rats after mobile phone exposure, a study funded by industry.
The industry tried to get him fired, tried to get his money taken back, went to the journal that had accepted the article for publication, asked them to unaccept it.
Another scientist, George Carlo, had the same problem.
When they found that we had findings of genetic damage and increase in the risk of cancer, they cut off our money completely.
Some of the changes that we saw were similar to the changes you see in cancer cells.
10 years ago, Today Tonight interviewed Peter French, a scientist for the Centre for Immunology at St Vincent's Hospital. His study also found cells changed after a small dose of mobile phone radiation.
The changes that I saw were enough to convince me that this was an interesting area to research in and also important.
But the mobile phone industry that helped pay for Peter's research didn't see it as important. And again, the funding simply dried up. The most recent and largest study, involving 13,000 people, is called Interphone. It was a World Health Organization initiative involving 13 countries worldwide. And yet again, heavily funded by the mobile phone industry.
They defined a user as a person who made 1 call a week for 6 months. So although the study overall finds no increase in brain cancer, it does what every other study has found with respect to long-term heavy use. Using a cell phone heavily for 10 years or more increases the risk of brain cancer between 2 to 4-fold.
In 2008, one of our country's foremost experts on public health, Professor Bruce Armstrong from Sydney University, broke his silence on Today Tonight.
Evidence of a 2-fold increase in risk of tumours, acoustic nerve tumours, possibly parotid gland tumours.
So, David, the tumour was just here, is that right, behind your ear?
That's right.
Mobile phone salesman David Smith had a tumour as big as a golf ball removed from around his acoustic nerve. He used to speak on his mobile 1 to 2 hours a day. Some of our top neurosurgeons only use their mobile on speakerphone.
I just don't think we have the room for error when it comes to brain tumours.
Deborah's advice: use the speakerphone or an earpiece and don't let children use mobile phones, except for texting.
All of us should never hold a small microwave radio next to the brain.
Well, Laura